Than 24 hours after that deadly shooting at the Boulder, Colorado supermarket, the Democrats are moving to capitalize off the death and despair like they always do. By mid-morning today, Joe Biden started calling for what else? A, quote, assault weapons ban.
I don't need to wait another minute, let alone an hour, to take common sense steps. We can ban assault weapons and high-capacity magazines in this country once again.
Well, apparently, no one told him Boulder, Colorado already has an AR-15 style ban in place, recently shot down by a state judge, but Boulder instituted some of the most restrictive gun laws in the nation, and guess what? The shooter did not obey any of them. Colorado already has a universal background system in place, the same system the left wants to institute nationwide. It's up for a vote now in the United States Senate. It didn't work either. This is the fundamental problem, folks, with gun laws. Only the law-abiding obey them. The Democrats know this, but they don't care, because the gun laws to them aren't about stopping crime. They're about controlling you. So look who stopped that madman killing people in a grocery store. A good guy with a gun, a hero cop who gave up his life for us. Now, I ask you, what if the gunman encountered an armed citizen first before the cops got there? As soon as he arrived, what if there was an armed good guy, another one, a citizen? Would things have turned out better? Would lives have been saved? The answer at worst to that question is a maybe. But the real answer is probably yes, things would have turned out a lot better. But this is what the Democrats ignore. Instead, they exploit these shootings. They seek to gain an advantage from them.
We need to do away with the filibuster. We can't get anything done in the Senate because a majority doesn't rule. It's the filibuster that rules. The inaction that's occurred is costing people their lives.
See, today it's guns. Yesterday it was voter rights. You hear what she's saying there. Throw out the filibuster to move on gun laws. As I said, it was voter integrity before was the only issue to throw out the filibuster, the Democrats said. The bottom line is they want the filibuster gone altogether, and they will use the raw emotion of yesterday's shooting to do it.
This Democratic-led Senate will be different. The Senate is not going to hide. It's different that we're in charge.
I really hope we can do something about it. I have 35 co-sponsors on a renewed assault weapons ban.
And the lies or the fear-mongering about how somehow law-abiding citizens won't have access to guns is just belied by the evidence and the data.
How is it a lie when you want to ban firearms I already own? You want to take my personal property from me. It is clear what the left wanted was the shooter to be, of course, a radicalized white supremacist. They dream of this, folks. Why do you think they held off on announcing his Muslim name? If he was an NRA member, his mugshot would have been plastered all over the news by 6 p.m. last night. That's a guarantee. Instead, the pause gave the liberals time to falsely take to social media to blame the shooting on what else but white privilege. Just look at Kamala Harris's own niece's response in a since-deleted tweet saying, quote, violent white men are the greatest terrorist threat to our country. Race baiting before any of the facts even came out. But instead of a Trump supporter or an NRA member, like I said, that's what they wanted. Liberals got a 21-year-old man by the name of Ahmed al-Aliwa Alisa, a man who apparently posted his disgust with President Trump on social media, as well as his love for Allah. Ahmed al-Alisa, own brother, called him paranoid. And yet the police chief in liberal Boulder, Colorado, who was torn up by this, and I do believe meant well, but she didn't give the shooting suspect's full name when it was first announced. Listen.
This suspect has been identified as Ahmad Alissa, 21 of Arvada. He has been charged with 10 counts of murder in the first degree and will be shortly transported to the Boulder County Jail.
Well, there's a reason she didn't give up the name. So I will not do what the mainstream media does. and speculate. But I can tell you the chief held back the shooter's full name for a reason. Ahmed al-Aliwi Alisa, the chief wanted to control your speculation. That's not her job. It's not my job to control your speculation either. Her job is to enforce the law and be truthful when giving us facts. My job is to give you facts. And here's another fact I am sure that she knew. The FBI was aware of Alisa already, according to the New York Times, through another individual under investigation. So the FBI knew about this guy. Now, consider this. They round up anyone on Capitol grounds on January 6th. Some of them deserve to be charged, arrested, sent to prison. But some of them didn't take part in the violence. Well, they get rounded up too. But the FBI could not stop a mass shooter they knew about? This system is broken, and people died because of it. Do we want a motive? Absolutely we do. Will every aspect of the shooter's life be scrutinized, including his faith? Yes, as well it should be. But it will not stop the Democrats from their ultimate quest to confiscate your guns. Listen to Press Secretary Jen Psaki today with reporters.
We are certainly considering a range of levers, including working through legislation, including executive action. The way he sees it is that there are a number of levers that any president of the United States can use, and he, as vice president, was leading the effort on determining executive actions that could be taken on gun safety measures.
This is an assault on the Constitution. Executive action on gun control, a fundamental right. The Second Amendment is. Joe Biden is considering, with the swipe of his pen, to take away your Second Amendment. And it doesn't help that this is how the media reports on shootings like this.
The main thing that they should do is ban assault rifles. The AR-15 type of rifles that are responsible for Sandy Hook, Aurora, Colorado, San Bernardino, Pulse nightclub in Orlando, Las Vegas. I could go on and on.
I play that clip for you because I want you to hear exactly what she just said. The AR-15 style rifle is responsible for those attacks. Now, last I checked, the AR doesn't have a brain, doesn't act on its own. I do believe the leftists, like Joy Behar on The View, believe that firearms, especially AR-15s, are some kind of transformer with a life and mind of their own. The only thing responsible for these heinous attacks, the one she named too, the one yesterday, the only one responsible is the shooter himself and the shooters in the other attacks. You see, evil exists in the world. It always has, and sadly, evil will always exist in the future. The left's answer is to somehow try to befriend evil, somehow tame it, while at the same time disarm good Americans. That, folks, will never, ever work. It's a recipe for disaster. And that will never happen either, because the one thing that I and many criminals have in common, guess what? I'm not giving up my guns, and I'm a law-abiding citizen. And you know what another fact is? The criminals aren't giving up their guns either. So once we realize that fact, that there are millions upon millions of people like me, law-abiding citizens, who will not give up their guns, and the criminals aren't going to give them up. Once you realize that, my right to keep and bear arms is absolute, while the reality of gun confiscation as a viable solution is 100% totally destroyed.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, where real news for real people.